Welcome back again to our YouTube channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. And leave us a comment so that we can improve ourselves and you help spread the Dharma. If you would please put your palms together for a meditation reading. Life has many different chapters. Do not let one bad chapter end the book. Words of the Buddha. If you would please join me in Kasho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. I had to go to the doctor for a regular checkup. And we always expect bad news. So this morning when I did go to the doctor, I was expecting bad news. Because I know I've been cheating on my diet, and I was freaking out because I don't want to take any more medications and stuff. So I go in and she reads it. And she reads the results of the blood test I had, and she goes, "Actually, you're doing really good." She goes, "Your A1C's a little up, but it's in the good range." And she said, "You've lost a lot of weight." Well, that's good. I lost weight. The bad is my A1C is a little bit high. And I thought about it, and I go, well, yeah, I cheat. I cheat on my diet. And I talked to her about it, and she said, but everybody cheats. And she goes, sometimes you have to get rid of that craving or you'll go crazy. Then if you let it go on and on and on, this craving, then when you do try to cure this craving, you start stopping yourself. So a little bit, moderation. I said, okay. So, I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I said, okay, that makes sense. Satisfy yourself, but don't over-satisfy yourself. Don't sit there and eat a dozen cookies. One cookie, or 1.5. Let's put 1.5 cookies. So, what I thought was going to be a bad chapter actually turned out to be a pretty good chapter. But we have a tendency to think the worst. And when you get that good news, the first thing, of course, I didn't do it in the office, but as I sat there, the first thing that comes to mind is Namo Amida Butsu, my Nembutsu. In thankfulness and gratitude and appreciation for getting good news. And even if it is bad news, it's just Namo Amida Butsu. It just helps us to calm ourselves, to be rational, and really be able to think things out. Our Nembutsu is a guide. It's our direction of how to take these chapters in our lives and how we're going to fit it into our lives. When we do have a bad chapter, well, we have a bad chapter. And we have to then figure out how to continue to make that bad chapter better. In my case, it's thinking, how am I going to improve my A1C? How am I going to keep everything at a steady level? Huh? And I know what I have to do. But it depends on me. It depends on me to really take care of my health. I went in and I did get a blood draw. And that's another stressful time. I don't like needles. But you know what? This blood draw shows what my levels are. It shows if my sugar is up, if it's down. And so, it shows us direction. It's the same as Nembutsu. It shows us direction. It shows us guidance. But are we willing to sit and truly think of what we have to do to make our lives better? One chapter in our life is great. And maybe the next chapter is not so great. But isn't that life? We just keep living it. We deal with what comes up. And we get the support we need. And I think for me, Namu Amida Butsu, my Nembutsu, gives me the strength and the support to really look at what direction I have to take. And it's a hard look at yourself to know what your true self is. You can deny yourself. You can say, it's not me. Yet, you know it is you. And it is only I who can make those decisions and take the guidance and figure out what I have to do to know myself, to know my true self. So in times of sorrow, in times of joy, in times of happiness, it's Namu Amida Butsu. In gratitude for a good life, for figuring out what direction to take. It's appreciation for really making me look at who I am. It's making me look at my denying things. And it makes me thankful that I do have the compassion and wisdom of the Buddha to guide me. Our life is a book. And we have many, many chapters in our book. And we have many things to continue to put in this book. And it's just a book that tells others of what life is. And we are thankful and grateful and appreciate the guidance of the Buddha. So don't let one chapter, one bad chapter, ruin the book. But seek support, strength, from Namu Amidavas. So if you would please join me in Gasho. Namu Amidavas, Namu Amidavas, Namu Amidavas, Namu Amidavas. And thank you for listening to our YouTube channel.